Okay, so we did till verse number 26, right? So we'll just ask you some questions. What is Arjuna described as? What is the word he uses? Krishna uses in the
Gudakesh.
Gudakesh. And what is the meaning of Gudakesh?
Who conquers the sleep.
Who conquers sleep, and what is the other meaning?
The modes.
Ignorance.
Ignorance, yeah, that's the modes of nature like that, yeah. So, okay. Then Krishna is addressed as a Achyuta in verse number, let's see. So what is the meaning of Achyuta?
Achyut means who doesn't fall from his place or his chuta. Achyuta. Chuta means to fall.
Yes. One who does not fall from his position into Maya. That is Achyuta. And Achyuta also means
One who never fails his affection for his devotees.
Protect his
one who
devotees.
never fails to protect his devotees. Of all the qualities of Krishna, which quality is the most endearing?
Bhaktavatsala.
Bhaktavatsala. Yes. That's the qualities. Krishna likes his devotees so much that this is the quality that is very endearing. Okay, so these are some things that we discussed last time. What did Arjuna tell Krishna? What he should do? He should take
surrender.
In the context of what we have. What should he do
He
with the
should
chariot?
take the chariot in the middle, Senior Madhya. So he said that take my chariot in the middle, and he wants to see that who come to fight.
Yeah, Krishna, like he's taking the chariot in the middle. Arjuna is telling Krishna, take my chariot in the middle so that I can see who has come to fight. And where does Krishna take the chariot?
Between Dronacharya and Bhishma, his guru and then great grandfather.
Yeah, so Krishna is also very intelligent. He could have taken the chariot anywhere, but he stood right in front of Bhishma and Drona. So what is Krishna planning to do by taking Arjuna's chariot right in front of Bhishma and Drona? What he wants to do? Why is he taking? So that Arjuna
could feel affection towards his relatives and then grandfather. Krishna is pointing out like where Arjuna's affection is.
Yeah, so he's taking the chariot right before. If he had taken before Duryodhan, maybe he would not have felt the same way. So he's paving the way for Bhagavad Gita to be spoken so that Arjuna can be put into illusion so that he feels that his duty to fight is against religious principles. So that's why he takes his chariot between, right in front of Bhishma and Drona. Okay, so let's see anything else. Okay, so who was on Arjuna's flag?
Hanuman.
Hanuman. And what was Hanuman doing when Arjuna was fighting on the flag?
He's protecting and repelling all the spells. Spells, but
What benediction did Hanuman give to Bhim? We went through the story of Arjuna and of Bhim and Hanuman, right? What benediction did Hanuman give to Bhim?
he was with
He-
pride.
He's I think, yeah, the story like Bhim and Hanuman or something
Yeah.
there. But he said that, right? When he needs it, he will be there.
I think what he promised that, whenever Bhim makes a
Roars
roar,
or
he's gonna join and do the same kind of a roaring.
Yeah. He's going to join with Bhim when Bhim roars in the battle, right? Then Hanuman on the flag will also roar, and this combined roaring of Bhim and Hanuman will terrorize the enemy, and they will feel very. What is a sign of victory when Krishna and Arjuna? What happened when Krishna and Arjuna blew their conch shell?
They tremble in fear. Their hearts are trembling. The opposite sides.
Yes, the hearts of the Kauravas were shattered
Mm-hmm.
when Bhim, Arjun, Krishna, and Bhim is described. What is the word that we use for Bhim's?
Vakrodha? No, I mean, it is one of their name, but
Vrikodara. Yeah, Vrikodara.
yeah, Vakrodha.
What does Vrikodara mean?
Who
Ferocious
eats a
eater.
lot, ferocious eater.
Yeah, Udar means belly. Vrikodara means one who eats a lot. So he had so much strength. He could, even after the Lakshagra, when they were tired, escaping in the forest, Bhim carried on his shoulders the brothers and like his mother, and he was running, right? He had so much strength. And where was he getting the strength from? He was getting the strength from eating. Obviously, he was eating a lot. And so what Bhim was eating a lot, so what he could not follow.
Ekadashi. Isli Nirjala Ekadashi is there.
Yeah, he could not follow any Ekadashi. So he requested Vyasdev. Vyasdev was, who was Vyasdev to Bhim? Actually, Vyasdev is the father of
Pandu.
Pandu. And Pandu is the father of Bhim.
Bhima.
Of course, Bhim.
Pandavas.
Yeah, Kunti chanted the mantra to the demigod. Which demigod she chanted the mantra?
Varun. Varun Dev.
Varun.
He's a
Bhim is called what? Bhim is called what? Vayuputra.
Vayu.
So not Varun, Vayu.
Okay.
And then she got the son, but because she was married to Pandu also, Kunti was married to Pandu. So they are called Pandavas. So, so Pandu, Vyasadev is the father of Pandu, right? So he requested Vyasadev. Bhim requested Vyasadev, please, I cannot observe any Ekadashi. And what did Vyasadev say? Okay, if you can't observe all this Ekadashi, then what you should do?
Just do one Ekadashi. That is Pandu Ekadashi, Nirjala Ekadashi. Once in a year.
Yes. Once in a year, if you do,
and you'll get the same benefit.
Yes, you get the same benefit of doing all the. So we have this Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi by the mercy of Bhim. So, okay, so now we are going to move on. Some things we discussed from last line. And what are some pastimes I mentioned where Krishna becomes subservient to his devotee? Last time. we discussed some pastimes where Krishna becomes subservient to his devotees. I mean,
I
there are so
think
many, but
gopis ask him to dance.
yes, gopis ask Krishna to dance for something, and Yashoda asks him to bring something, and then Krishna is bringing that. So
Nanda Baba sleeper on a third. Nand.
yeah, the sleepers of Nanda Baba on his head. Okay, so there are different things like that. Okay, so now we will go to verse number 126. If you have it, you can open it in your, you put it here, sorry. So after he says, okay, take my chariot between the two armies, then Krishna brought his chariot right before Bhishma and Drona. So we are on 126. There Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his father-in-law and well-wishers. So different, Prabhupada gives the example, who is his father, who is his grandfather, who is his teacher. So there is all description there in the verse. So father is Bhurishravas, of course, is one of the fathers, you could say. Grandfather is Bhishma and Somadatta. The teachers are Dronacharya, Kripacharya. And he says, what else he says? Maternal uncles, Shakuni, Mama, Shakuni and Shalya. His brothers, Duryodhan, and all the Kauravas like that, Vikarna. His sons, so like Lakshmana. And grandsons, sons of Lakshmana, friends Ashwathama. Ashwathama was a friend. He was the son of Dronacharya. Father-in-law, that is, who is mentioned, it doesn't mention it. Well-wishers like Kritavarma. You would also see the armies which contain many of his friends. So he's seeing all these people on the battlefield. And then now Krishna has put Arjuna into illusion. So 1.27, he's put into illusion, so Bhagavad Gita can be spoken. So when he sees everybody like this, Tan samikshya sakonteya sarvan bandhun avastitan kripaya paraya vishto vishidan idam bravit. You can follow along if you open your book. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion. So there are 5 reasons which are given by Arjuna why he should not fight. And this is beginning of the first reason. First is compassion. He is feeling compassion because by nature he is a devotee. He is very soft-hearted. He doesn't want to kill his grandfather, his guru, and his brothers just for his own selfish desire for becoming the king. Nowadays, so many people are eating meat, right? They are killing and causing so much misery to the animals. Why? Because for their own sense gratification, for their own enjoyment, they don't care. Arjuna was not like that. He was feeling very compassion he knew that so many people will die in this battle, and he didn't want to cause any harm to others just for his own, just to put him on the throne. Pandavas ruled for about 37 years. After they won the war, they were ruling Hastinapur for about 36, 37 years like that. And so it was not a very long time. I mean, they ruled. So he was feeling compassion. That's one reason. So we'll discuss all the reasons first. Then the second thing was enjoyment. He was feeling, I will not be able to enjoy, right? In English, we say, what is that? No pillow is as soft as a clear conscience. So if you do something wrong, then you can't sleep at night. So he was thinking, even if I win this kingdom, I will not be able to enjoy. So this is another reason he gives. I will not be able to enjoy. Why? Because I've killed this. This kingdom has come at the cost of killing so many, of my relatives, my guru, my grandfather. So I will not be able to enjoy. Sometimes Prabhupada, in his lecture, he would say that we want to enjoy and we want to show to others how great I am. But if nobody's around, then whom will you show how great you are? That's generally material conception of life. Generally we think, oh, like in India previously, if somebody had a car, they would feel very proud because nobody else had a car. And if you had a car, then you will feel very proud. So you enjoy, yeah? I have something which others don't have. But if everybody has a car, like in America, then you don't feel so so great about it, right? That's one way to look at it. But Arjuna was more feeling like, okay, I'll not be enjoy because my friends and family, they will not be there. So he doesn't know who all will die in the battle, right? Of course, he doesn't know what the outcome of the battle will be. But even if he survives, if all his friends and relatives are gone, then who will he enjoy with? That is second reason. First is, what is the first reason?
Compassion.
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 Yeah, the second reason is enjoyment. He's feeling that I'll not be able to enjoy. And the compassion is also, he's feeling very, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. So if I were hurt by somebody, I would feel pain. So devotee doesn't even want to hurt even an ant unnecessarily. Because the ant is also part and parcel of Krishna, a living entity. So devotee in that way is very non-violent. He doesn't want to practice violence to anybody. Give them. The third reason, which he will give in the coming verses, is that if all the elders who are on the battlefield, all the men of this army will die, then what will happen is that there'll be nobody to protect women, right? Their husbands will be dead, and there'll be nobody to guide the children, like without father, and the children will be, and the tradition of sanskaras and all this shraddha, and who will impart all this knowledge to the younger generation if all the elders in the family are killed? And if the elders in the family are killed, women will be unprotected. Then some men may take advantage, and there'll be unwanted children. Varna Shankara, he says. Varna Shankara will happen. So he's saying, I don't see any good that is going to come out of this battle. So I see only destruction. So that's the third reason he gives. I don't want to fight. The fourth reason he gives is that he feels that he's going to incur sin. He's going to have sin by killing his grandfather. So just for a short time of enjoyment in the kingdom, he's thinking, for killing so many people, I have to suffer for millions of years in hell. So it's not worthwhile, right? Just for my happiness, I give pain, and I'll also get sin from that, and I'll have to suffer. So just to be engaged in enjoyment without considering the consequences is not intelligence, right? Sometimes it happens to us, right? We just don't think about the consequences because that mood of enjoyment is so strong. So that mood of enjoyment is so strong that we don't consider whether it's good or bad for me, whether it's nice or not. Like, for instance, meat eating and anything actually you eat without offering to Krishna. Krishna is saying it is pap. Yagna shishta sina santo muchyante sarva kilbishai. Bhunjate tva agham papa, ye pachanti atma karanat. Those who eat food cooked only atma karan, for their own enjoyment, prepared and cooked for their own enjoyment, they are eating mouthful of sin as they are eating one after another. But why we are doing that? Because we have strong desire to enjoy the senses. So we don't consider Krishna's instruction. This is what happens when one becomes covered by lust and desire to enjoy. So, I mean, we have all been there, and maybe you're not been, but we can identify many times, so Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, when one is covered, even though you know, but because the mood of enjoyment is so strong, you cannot stop. You cannot do the right thing, right? Atha kena prayuktayam papam charati purusha. Anichanapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. In the 3rd chapter, Arjuna will ask Krishna, what is it that impels a man to do acts against his own will? Why is he like forced, even though he knows it is bad for him? Why is he forced to do this? And Krishna says, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajoguna Samudbhava, Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyanam Hiverina. Very important, this 3rd chapter. So, saying yes, because of the desire to enjoy and this, like the mode of passion is there, so he does this kind of activities. And this covers his knowledge. Avritam jnanam etena jnanino nitya vairina kama rupena kaunteya dushpurena nalyacha. Okay, so that is fear of sinful reaction. So he doesn't want just enjoyment. He was considering whether this is sin or not. It is not about like, I like it, so I will do it. So that is another. The 5th reason is, which will come in the 2nd chapter. He will say, after giving all, he's completely indecisive. He doesn't know whether to fight is good, if to not fight is good, to go to the forest and beg. He doesn't know anything. He's completely indecisive. And he's thinking that kingdom is already going on. Duryodhana is ruling. People, why should millions of people die because of putting me on the throne? So Arjuna is very soft-hearted. He's very compassionate. He's very logical, because he's considering the actions, the results of his actions. He is cultured, he's intelligent, he knows Shastra, and that's why he's presenting all these arguments. So, so that is, what are the 5 reasons? Compassion. Second is enjoyment. Third is
Varna Sankara.
Varna
Sankara.
family destruction.
Yeah, destruction of family tradition.
And
Fourth
then
is
incur sinful reaction. He will incur
fear of sinful reaction. Yes.
Mhm.
And then last is indecisiveness. So these are the 5. It is nicely described in Purijan Prabhu's book, Surrender Unto Me. If you don't have it, you can get a copy, or I can share a PDF also. But I don't know if there's copyright and I should be sharing, but you can get it, Surrender Unto Me. It's a nice book. It's a guide to Bhagavad Gita. So he has nicely summarized all these reasons where. Okay, so then next verse 1.28. Arjuna uvacha drishtvemam svajanam Krishna. So he's saying, I'm seeing, after seeing all my swajana, yutsam samupastitam. So yuyutsa means they have come with a desire to fight. Siddhanti mama gatrani. Gatrani is the limbs. My limbs are quivering. Mukham cha parishushyati. My mouth is drying up. Mukham cha parishushyati. My mouth is drying up. The limbs of my body are quivering. Seeing all these relatives fight. And my friends present it. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, any man who has genuine devotion to the Lord, so anybody who becomes a devotee of the Lord, all the good qualities they develop in him. And he's quoting this verse from the Bhagavatam. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagvatya kinchana sarve gunais tatra samasate suraha harava bhaktasya kuto mahatguna manorathena sati dhavato bahi. It's in the purport. This verse is in the purport. It's in the 5th canto, 18th chapter, verse 12. So if you become a devotee, you cannot have bad qualities. Of course, if you become a pure devotee, akinchana. Akinchana means without any akinchana, material motives, right? Akinchana, one without any material desires. So one who takes to bhakti and becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, all the good qualities he has. But those who are not devotees, then they are on the mental platform, manorathena sati. So depending on their mind, when there is an opportunity for sense gratification, everything will change, right? Everything will change. So manorathena sati. And mind is going this way, good. It is accepting and rejecting according to what it feels, what we feel is good for. So by coming in contact with a pure devotee, one develops. How one becomes a pure devotee? We have the story of who was a very bad, who do you think was a very cruel person but became very soft-hearted?
Brigari.
Brigari, yes. Brigari was killing animals half dead. And then, the story is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then how Narad Muni's association transformed him, and he was not willing to step even on an ant. From killing animals half dead and enjoying the pleasure of seeing. So Srila Prabhupada also, all the animals, all the people who he transformed, Jagai and Matai, how they were transformed by Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda Prabhu, Ajamil, so many. So a devotee has all good qualities. But if you are mixed devotee, then we will have some good qualities, some bad qualities. So we are work in progress. Because Krishna takes charge of purifying his devotees. So, like Indra is a mixed devotee, and sometimes he becomes a little bit proud. So Krishna arranges situations. But if we remain in the shower of Krishna consciousness, then we will automatically become pure eventually one day. So his mouth dried up and his limbs began to quiver. And okay, then what else is saying? Limbs quivering, mouth drying up. What other symptoms? That's in the next verse. 1.29. Vepathuscha shariri me. Vepathu means trembling. My body is trembling, shivering. Roma harshascha jayate. Rom means hair and harsha. Roma harshascha jayate. This is standing of hair on the end. Roma harsha. Harsha. So Prabhupada says your hair can stand on end for two reasons. In the purport he says. One is when you are in spiritual ecstasy. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, right? Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When I chant, when will tears come to my eyes? And when will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your holy name? Nayanam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgadarudaya gira. Pulakher nichitam vapukada tava nama grahane bhavishyati. So Bhagavatam says if you chant the holy name and you're not feeling any, there's a verse in the Bhagavatam. I was looking up verse. It says, this is 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, 34th verse. Certainly that heart is still framed. which in spite of once chanting the holy name of the Lord with concentration does not change when ecstasy takes place. Tears fills the eyes and hair stand on it. Means if emotions are not coming for Krishna, then that means our heart is not so soft. It's still very hard. The spiritual life is to make the heart soft. So he's saying Roma Harshas, but here his hair is standing on end, as Prabhupada says. It can occur either in great spiritual ecstasy or out of great fear under material conditions. So he is actually afraid of sinful reactions and fighting and all. Gandivam shram shate hastat. So the bow Gandiv is slipping out of my hand. And tvacha, tvak chaiva paridayate. My skin is burning. So my whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow Gandiv is slipping from my hand. My skin is burning. This is what. Okay. So, yeah, so we'll go to the next verse. Nacha shaknomi avasthatum brahmativa cha me manaha brahma. So he's saying, I am unable to stand here any longer in this battlefield. Shaknomi. It's not possible for me to stand here in this battlefield. Brahmativa cha me manaha. My mind is Brahma, is forgetting, here Prabhupada is translated forgetting, or is becoming bewildered. Brahm. Nimittani cha pashyami, vipritani keshava. So nimittani means the cause. I am pashyami means to see. I am only seeing causes of misfortune. Vipritani. Vipritani means opposite. So nimittani cha vipritani. So Prabhupada, I remember one lecture, he was quoting this, nimittani cha vipritani. He was saying that I built the house for my enjoyment, but unfortunately there was fire in the house and everything burned down. So we came to the material world for enjoyment, right? But we find just the opposite. We find struggle and misery. So we came in the material world to enjoy. So that is how, but we are finding it opposite, right? What we expected. So very excessive attachment for material things, Prabhupada says, puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. So there is fear. Fear comes. This is, Prabhupada is quoting this verse in the purport. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshata syat. So in illusion, when we come into illusion, dvitiya means not to be absorbed in reality. Since we don't know the real self, who we are, we don't know our real self-interest. And in illusion, we think that the interest of the body and the mind and the gratification of the body and mind is my real self-interest. But our real self-interest lies in serving Vishnu, as Prabhupada points out in this purport. Yeah, our real interest lies in serving Vishnu. But we think, in illusion, we are thinking that the gratification of the body and the mind is my real self-interest. So we are absorbed in some other thing, in the dreamlike state. So then actually what our real situation is. And that's why we are not satisfied. It's like bird in the cage, right? You polish the cage. Since we don't know who we are, what is the real self? Why am I here? So Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. Prahlad Maharaj also says to his father, Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu, durashaya ye bahirartha manina, andha yathande rupaniya manas, te pishatantraya murudamni baddha. This is one of the famous verses Prabhupada quotes. And Prahlad Maharaj speaks to Hiranyakashipu that we don't know our real self-interest. Of course, we have material body and there are urges of the material body. But they can be satisfied in a Krishna conscious way. But as one advances in bhakti, then those urges become less. And as one's consciousness changes by advancement in bhakti, one feels pleasure in bhakti. And then he becomes fully satisfied. So even after doing so much sense gratification, one feels unsatisfied because we are absorbed in this dream-like state, and there is fear. In a dream, you can think so many things. You are absorbed in a dream. Identification with the body is the dream. It starts with that. And because of that, uh, we are imagining so many things are happening to me. Like sometimes we are happy, I am a king. Sometimes I'm sad, I'm a beggar. But this is all on the bodily platform of life. Actually, we are not the king, we are not the beggar. But because we are absorbed in this dream-like state, we are suffering all these different dualities of this material world, Dvitiya. Because we have separated ourselves from Krishna, we have forgotten Krishna. Ishadape tasya viparyayo smritihi. That verse is saying that because we have turned away from the Lord, now we are in this dream-like state. And we have forgotten our identity as part and parcel of Krishna. So then how to come back to our real identity? Well, when we hear about Krishna, when we associate with those who have woken up, then we can come to our real state. If we associate with those who are also sleeping, then we will all remain sleeping. So one feels pleasure as one engages in bhakti, and one's consciousness changes, and then, then we will be very happy. As nectar of instruction says like that. How do we get happiness? What does nectar of instruction say? How do we get happiness? Let's ask who I can see. Alankar Prabhu. What is the happiness? How can we get happiness in Krishna consciousness? What is nectar of instruction saying? Does it remind you of any verse? How you can get happiness? Alankar there. Okay, we'll ask Karuna Mataji since I see her on call. How can we get happiness?
Like I did not remember exactly, Prabhuji, but like depends on the progress of our Krishna consciousness. We get happiness. I didn't remember exactly, Prabhuji.
What is the verse that talks about anartha nivritti?
So,
We have all the different stages. What is one verse that talks about anartha nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, all these things? In our chart we had, right? From Shraddha to Prem, we had all the...
is it seventh verse, right?
Yeah, the seventh
Syat
verse.
Krishna Nam, yeah.
Yes. What does that
Syat
verse say?
Krishna.
We don't want
It's
Sanskrit, but just explain in English.
Syat Krishna Nam Charati Sitati Avidya. This verse is saying that the name of the Lord, his pastime, his activities are all sweet like a sugar candy. And but we are not tasting that because we are afflicted by the jaundice of ignorance, avidya. So we chant the name of the Lord every day, and anudinam and adarad, right? So I say that with respect, and every day if we chant the name, then the natural, the love awakens, and when the disease is destroyed. So by chanting the name, we destroy the ignorance, and then we can relish.
Yeah, so attentively. You have to be attentive to Krishna. Whenever you do reading of Bhagavad Gita or you attend a class, your whole focus should be there on Krishna. Whenever you chant the holy name, don't multitask. Don't multitask. Krishna wants exclusivity. So we have to give all our attention to the best of our ability. Of course, we cannot be attentive, but give attention to Krishna. When we chant Don't think of anything else. Just like, I mean, if the mind will think, but you bring your mind back. Similarly, when we are reading, when we are hearing something, just be very attentive. And just by doing that, becoming attentive to Krishna, everything will come from that. Because we say, right, inattention is the mother of all offenses. So it's an offense to be inattentive while doing anything related to Krishna. So we should be very attentive. If Krishna were to come to our house, then how attentive we will be to his needs, everything. So we have to give our attention. And why attention doesn't come? Because our mind gets bored, right? Our mind says, oh, I've heard this, this is the same thing again and again. The same thing is being said. Same Narsingadev pastime, same Prahlad Maharaj, same. So we get bored. But somehow or other, if we can give attention, I mean, we have heard, right? How many times we have heard, you are not that body, you are spirit soul, you are servant of Krishna. And how many times we actually believe and act on this, right? That I am not this body. How does it all reflect in our actions, right? That's something, right? So because, yeah, we may think it's a boring lecture, same thing Prabhupada is saying, you are not that body, you are spirit soul. And Krishna is also repeating, like so many verses he will say in the second chapter, right? How many? So many verses he will say. Again and again he's saying, describing the nature of the soul. Because this is very fundamental to spiritual life. So if you don't understand, then we have to hear again and again, right? So repetition is necessary because we are not there yet. So we have to hear and then contemplate on it and then seek and pray to Krishna. Krishna, I want this realization. I want this. I want to come out of this, material consciousness. I want to come to spiritual platform. Krishna, please help me. Today, Keshav Maharaj was saying, don't be the spotlight. Don't try to be spotlight, but try to be a
lighthouse.
Lighthouse. Yes. Don't be a spotlight. Means don't do everything keeping yourself in the center, right? Don't do everything as if I'm going to get some recognition, some like that. That's in the beginning stages, yeah, but we are doing ultimately to please Krishna. We are not doing things so that we are recognized and I'm, adored by others, I'm worshipped by. Try to be in the spotlight. Try to be the lighthouse. Means try to do good to others. Try to understand the needs of others. Try to relate with them in a way that they can understand the philosophy and how you can give Krishna consciousness to others. Like that, it was a very nice class. So, yeah, so in that way, we will not put ourselves in the center, but we'll put Krishna in the center. And we'll relate to others as spirit souls, as part and parcel of Krishna. And so we'll relate to them with kindness and mercy. So as soon as in this material world we begin, Prahlad Maharaj says, there's a nice verse in the Bhagavatam, 7:742. Let me read. I'm giving the verse number so you can look it up later on. 7:742. Prahlad Maharaj says, in this material world, every materialist desires to achieve happiness and diminishes distress. And therefore he acts accordingly. Right? Everybody wants to maximize. Happiness means material happiness you want to maximize and diminish your material distress. And he's acting. Actually, however, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. Means material happiness. Of course, because we are Anandamaya Bhyasat, we are full of pleasure. So we want pleasure. But as soon as we endeavor for happiness in material way, right? For material happiness, he says, as soon as one begins his activities for happiness, his conditions of distress also begin. So, like that. So we say like it's a package deal, right? So Prahlad Maharaj is a Mahajan and he's preaching to his, I think, classmates about this. Okay. So try to please the Lord, right? That is the main thing. And otherwise we'll always be in this bhaya dvitiya, because our consciousness is absorbed in something else. So we have to change our consciousness. This is the ultimately. And yeah, so then 31 to 35 verses are about enjoyment. Arjuna is saying no enjoyment in victory. He's not going to get any enjoyment in victory. So he's saying 31. Na cha shreyo anupashyami hatva swajanam ahave na kangshe vijayam Krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha. Na cha shreya. Shreya means ultimate good. Anupashyami. I do not foresee any good coming out of this battle. Hatva swajanam. Killing my own kinsmen, swajanam, in the fight is, I don't see any good coming out of it. Na kangshe. Kangshe means hankering. Sochati and kangshati. Brahma bhuta prasannatmana sochina kangshati. So hankering. Na kangshe vijayam Krishna. I do not desire, I don't hanker for victory. Na cha rajyam sukhani cha. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in the battle. Yeah, obviously thinking my guru will die, who brought me so much, who gave me so much vidya, right? And my grandfather will die, who was so loving to me. I don't see any good coming in this, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. So he has completely lost the will to fight. So Prabhupada says, Arjuna has forgotten his duty as a Kshatriya. Yeah, he's supposed to uphold dharma. But here's a conflicting, right? If they were his enemies, that was very easy to fight. For a policeman, it's like a policeman. If you're a judge and your son is a criminal, he has done a murder, and you have to write the judgment, right? That this person should be hanged to death. How difficult it will be, right? If you are a judge and you have a child, whom you have to punish. So it's something like that. So, but then it's your duty as a judge to do whatever is right. But then he's your child, so how can you do this? So that is why Arjuna is caught up in this state. So he thinks that by killing his kinsmen, there would be no happiness in his life, and therefore is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. Yeah, why do I need to cook? I'm not feeling hungry. Right? So similarly, we have to feel hunger for spiritual life. Hunger for Krishna. That's if we can develop somehow or other, if we can develop a hunger for Krishna consciousness, that will be very good. So a person who is not feeling hungry, then he will not be inclined to do any spiritual activity. I mean, not spiritually hungry. He will not be inclined to do any spiritual activity. So somehow or other, we have to develop some hunger. Either this way or that way, yena kena prakarena, somehow or other, we have to develop the hunger. That is and ultimately that hunger will translate into like you become strong desire, which is called greed. Tatra lolyam apimulyam ekalam. It is described Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati kriyatam yadi kuto apilapyate tatra lolyam apimulyam ekalam janma koti sukritir nalapyate. Yeah. This verse is coming. It says somehow or other we have to develop hunger, means some great desire. Right now we may not have that desire, but that is the price, they say, if you want to get Krishna. You have to develop the hunger. not by doing pious activities for so many lifetimes. So how that hunger will come about? When we are intellectually convinced about the goal of life, who we are. Like today, Prem was saying, Sanatana Goswami is our Sambandha Acharya, and he was given Sambandha Gyan by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when you understand who you are, Sambandha means what? What is the translation of Sambandha? What is Sambandha in Hindi? We say Sambandha.
Relationship.
Relationship, yes, relationship. When we understand our relationship with Krishna, who I am. Who I am, first I have to understand who I am, and then our relationship with Krishna. So how will all this Sambandha Gyan come about? When we hear from great souls like Prabhupada, we should hear every day one lecture of Prabhupada. Prabhupadvani.org. He speaks, and because he's a pure devotee, that vibration that he speaks, when we hear that, it will convince us somehow or other. Prithu Maharaj says, I only want the benediction to hear from your pure devotees. Because when I hear from pure devotees, then what happens? Whatever I've forgotten about who I am, that memory is revived. We have forgotten. We are in deep state of slumber. So when we are intellectually convinced, when we hear, and when we get taste, then your greed develops slowly and gradually. Then we lose taste for material things slowly and gradually. It's all about taste, right? It's all about taste. And it is described that how a miser, vichayani vicharyani vichintyani puna puna kripadasya dhananiva tvam namani bhavantuna. So miser is always, money is sweeter than honey, right? Say Prahlad Maharaj says, money is sweeter than honey. So everybody is after money, money, more money, greed, right? You're never satisfied. Greed, more. Like that. So he's always counting, vichayani, vicharyani, collecting, vichintyani, remembering. As a miser counts, collects, and remembers his money, one should count, collect, and remember the holy names. It is described. So somehow or other, we have to, and that will come when you have taste. If you have taste, then you will be able to chant nicely and you will feel like, yes, I can keep chanting more. And that taste comes from Nectar of Instruction, verse 7, when you pay attention. Otherwise, you can do mechanically, right? But taste will not come. So we have to pay attention to the sound of Krishna's name, because Krishna is present in the name. So don't chant when you are tired. Don't chant. Take rest, become fresh, and then chant. Because when you chant when you are tired, although your lips are moving and everything, but your focus is not there. You're dozing off like that, sleeping. And it sets a bad example also for others. Or don't look at your phone when you are chanting, right? Don't look at your phone. Why we are talking so much about chanting? Because 90% of our advancement in this age comes from chanting the holy name. Prabhupada said like that. This is the main way. That's why we say, today the verse was quoted, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyatha. Krishna mantra hoite hobe sansara mochan. Krishna mantra hoite pabe Krishnera charan. Krishna mantra hoite hobe sansara mochan. One becomes free from material existence, all anarthas. This mantra is so powerful. And Krishna Nama hoite pabe Krishnera charan. By chanting the Maha Mantra, we will reach the lotus feet of Krishna. We will attain the lotus feet of Krishna. Means we'll come to Krishna. So this is very great benediction in this. So chant, but chant when you are very active, very full of enthusiasm. Otherwise, so you can chant. I'm not saying that you can chant, but you want to chant attentively. Like Mahatma Prabhu says, there's no bad round. There's no bad round. Whenever I chant, it's a good round. So we want to chant like that. So we may need some rest. So we take rest. proper rest, whatever it is required. So plan your day around chanting. So how you can chant nicely. So anyway, this is not related, but I was just thinking that how we can have hunger, because Prabhupada is saying one who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. He just wants to leave everything. He just says, I will go and beg in the forest. And he cannot do that because he's Kshatriya. So, but he will do in frustration. So he says he considers himself fit to go to forest, live a secluded life of frustration. He doesn't want any kingdom, nothing. Okay, so, and the last, we'll do this last verse for today. 32 to 35. Yeah. Oh, Govinda. So now he's further saying, he's thinking, in the previous verse he said, yes, I have no desire to kill I don't see any good will come out of this. And I don't want any kingdom, all this victory, I don't want. I will just retire to the forest, Prabhupada says in the purport, and live a life. So then he's saying, oh Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. Again, he's talking about enjoyment. Even if we get all our relatives will die, what is the use? Oh Madhusudan, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all the living entities. So Krishna uses 3 words here in this verse: Govinda, Madhusudan, and Janardhan for Krishna in this. So there is specific reasons why he's using these words. I'm not prepared. So he says, O maintainer of all living entities, I'm not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for 3 worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So first, he's using Govinda, because Govinda means one who gives pleasure to
senses and cows.
Yeah, senses and the cows. So Govinda, you're supposed to give me pleasure. Of course, Krishna has not said anything yet, but he's thinking Krishna is going to say, tell him to fight. So he says, Krishna, you are supposed to give pleasure to my senses, but if I don't think any pleasure will come from killing my relatives. And Prabhupada takes a different, he says, yes, Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses. Yes. Arjuna is using the word Govinda because he wants Krishna to satisfy, to please him. But Prabhupada is saying we are meant to satisfy the senses of Govinda, not that, not vice versa, that Krishna is meant to satisfy. So he says Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses. If we try to satisfy the senses of Govinda, then automatically our senses are satisfied. What is the analogy? If we try to satisfy Govinda, then our senses are satisfied.
Pouring the water into the root and feeding the stomach. So all the hands and legs were satisfied.
Correct. So, yeah, so no pleasure I will get without, he's saying, I will not get any pleasure by killing my relatives. Like sometimes we say smashan vairagya, right? If a mother has lost her child and you say to the mother, I will give you a free vacation to Hawaii, or wherever you want to go. Will the mother agree? No. Why? Because our first thing is she lost her child. She wants to get her child back. So sometimes we have this smashan vairagya. When you go to the crematorium and then you think, ultimately there is no use. The body will burn on the funeral pyre like this. One day I will also burn like this. We may not think like that I'll burn, but oh, my relatives have passed away. And I feel for some time, I feel very detached. So like that he's feeling, Arjuna is feeling that. So he says, don't tell me, Govinda, don't tell me to engage in the fight because you are meant to satisfy my senses. But Prabhupada says, we are meant to. That is the definition of bhakti. What is the definition of bhakti? to engage our senses.
The
Rishikesh.
service of the senses of Krishna.
Yes.
Sarvopadi
Rishikesh.
vinirmuktam
Nirmuktam.
Parattvena nirmalam.
Rishikesha sevanam bhaktirochyate.
So God is not, Prabhupada is saying, we want God to be our order supplier, but we have to act for God's pleasure. That's what will satisfy our senses. So he's feeling that it's going to be like a very bad situation if all my relatives die. Then whole thing is like a void, right? Arjuna is feeling. So he's using the word Govinda. And then he's using the word Madhusudan. Madhusudan means what?
Killer of demon Madhu.
Yeah.
Madhu and Ketab.
Madhu.
False ego is like honey.
Yeah, it's like honey.
Kills
It's-
our false ego.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he's saying, Krishna, you killed your Madhusudan. You are called Madhusudan because you killed the demon Madhusudan. Right? You are telling me to kill is anticipating. You are telling me to kill my relatives. They are not demons. Bhishma and Drona, they are not demons. So he's using the word Madhusudan in that way, that you killed Madhusudan, but that was a demon you killed. Why are you telling me to kill my relatives? So, and also Madhu, doubts are like demons. So Madhusudan is a demon. I mean, Madhusudan is Krishna. Madhu was a demon. And Sudan means one who killed Madhu. So Madhu was a demon and doubts are like demons. So he is saying, okay, please destroy my doubt. Indirectly, he is saying in his way that I am having this doubt. He's giving all these arguments, but internally he is not feeling very comfortable. He's giving all logical arguments, but still, as we'll see in the second chapter, already he's not, he's feeling that there is a strain between doing his duty and killing. It's a dharma sankat. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava prichhami tvam dharma samudha cheta. Yeah, my consciousness is now dharma samudha cheta. I'm bewildered. So, and also Madhu means honey. We know Madhu means honey. So our false ego is like honey. Yeah. That's why Krishna will kill all the false ego. If we take his shelter, then we'll become humble. When Krishna kills our false ego, then we'll become humble. Dinera adhik kare, dinera adhik daya
Daya
kare.
kare
Bhagwan Pandita Kulina
Pandit.
Dhira Bada.
Kulina Pandita Dhanira Bada Abhiman. So, yes. So when you become humble, Krishna makes you humble. So when we become humble, then only we can practice bhakti. Otherwise, we cannot practice bhakti. So we have to. So anyway, he's saying all my relatives, friends will be killed, and then what will I be able to share to them after victory? So Prabhupada says, the devotee wants to satisfy the desires of the Lord. If the Lord wants, he can become the richest person. But if he doesn't want, then he will not even accept a farthing. He says like. But on his own accord, he doesn't want. He's completely surrendered. If the Lord wants, then I will. Yeah. So
Prabhuji,
the order of the Lord comes through the parampara, from the Guru, like that. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, but up to this point, Lord hasn't even instructed Arjun to kill relatives or fight. He's just standing there, and Arjun is talking about the relationship and Guru, and he cannot kill them. So when we are talking about why are you telling me to kill my relatives, but that point hasn't come yet, right?
No, he's just preparing his arguments because he's anticipating that Krishna is going to tell him to fight.
Oh, I see.
So that is why in his mind he's already preparing his case, why he should not fight. But then also he's indecisive, right? We say one reason he's not completely convinced that he should not fight, but he's leaning towards that side now that, okay, I should not fight. So But Prabhupada says in the purport that he doesn't know that even without his fighting, everybody has been killed. Like when Krishna showed the universal form later on, even before the fight started. So what do we say? Krishna has already killed everybody, with or without Arjun. The fight has already, the outcome of the battle has already been decided by Krishna.
Match is fixed.
Yeah, the match is fixed like that. So, so how do we look at this? What is the lesson for us? The thing is that Lord Chaitanya has predicted. What is he predicted? My name will be chanted in every town and village. Prithivite ache yato nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe mora naam. Lord Chaitanya said like that. Krishna consciousness will spread everywhere. So what does that mean for us? Even if we don't do anything, to spread Krishna consciousness, without us also it will spread. Because the Lord has decided. And that's why there is a 10,000 year golden year period in Kali Yuga. It is already decided by the Lord. But we have the opportunity to become a part in that mission of the Lord. We have that opportunity. So we can do our bit to spread Krishna consciousness. Because with or without us, the Lord's mission is going to be fulfilled. So anyway, so that is what he's saying, Prabhupada is saying. At this point, he did not know that Krishna had already killed them before their coming into battlefield, and that he was only to become an instrument for Krishna. This fact is disclosed in the following chapters. So as a natural devotee of the Lord, and we'll end with this, Arjuna did not like to retaliate against his miscreant cousins, but it was the Lord's plan that they should all be killed. Krishna planned. Why? Why did he plan? Because Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotees by the miscreants. Because Draupadi was humiliated. So many things. There are so many instances in Bhagavatam where the Lord will not tolerate any pastimes, where the Lord does not tolerate mischief done to his devotees.
Amrish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni.
Amrish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni. Second,
Haridas Thakur. When he was being beaten by the Muslims, Lord gave him the Sudarshan Chakra.
But it didn't work.
Yeah.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu, right? Yeah. The Lord did not tolerate all the. He said, yeah, I will kill. Then
Even Jagai and Madhai.
Jagai Madai, Srivas Thakur and Gopal Chapala.
Haridas Thakur and Gopal Chakravarti.
Haridas Thakur and Gopal Chakravarti, yes. And Devananda Pandit and Srivas Thakur, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I will tear up his Bhagavatam. He was saying like that. Sachi Mata and Advaita Acharya. Sachi Mata was always thinking Advaita Acharya, He has divided my family. He's not Advaita, he's Dvaita. Because of him, my elder son has taken sannyas. So she was having she did not tell anything to Advaita Acharya. But in her mind, she was harboring. So Bhishma and Drona, they were silent when Draupadi was humiliated or attempted to be humiliated. So like that, there are so many examples so that's why Vaishnava Aparadh is very dangerous. Like today, the whole drama was on Vaishnava Aparadh, right? I mean, of course, Amogha was criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So he's the Supreme Lord.
But because he was a relative of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he got mercy.
So we know there are Vaishnava Aparadhs. What are the Vaishnava Aparadhs? Let's ask. There are 6, so we'll ask one by one. We'll ask first to Karuna Mataji. First Vaishnava Aparadh.
Like we have studied joke bad with acronym, Prabhuji.
So you want to tell?
Like not feeling joy when we see any Vaishnava. That's joy. Like Not
Not
to be
offering obeisances to a
offered.
Vaishnava.
Yeah, not offering obeisances when we see any Vaishnava.
So we may not offer full, maybe we can at least offer like this, we should offer. So now we have to apply all these things, right? Or we should say, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha. But sometimes to senior devotees, we don't want to bow down and make them also bow down to us. So sometimes we not like it is described. Yeah, but we should offer obeisances to Vaishnavas somehow or other, not to feel joy, then to kill a Vaishnava.
Kill a Vaishnava, envious to
Hopefully,
Vaishnava.
nobody did like that, killing a Vaishnava. Not to envy a Vaishnava, and
And
not to,
blaspheme. B
Blasphemy.
is blaspheme.
yeah, not to blaspheme Vaishnava.
A is angry.
Hmm.
And D is devotee.
So he's calling Janardhan. Now, Janardhan has two meanings. Janardhan means maintainer, which Prabhupada has taken here. Krishna is Janardhan. He's maintainer of all living entities. So he's saying you are maintainer of all living entities. How can we desire death? Of course, Krishna has not said yet, but he is anticipation. He's saying, because Krishna will tell him to. He says, how? You are maintainer, Janardhan. You are maintainer of all living entities. Why are you asking me to kill all of them, right? And another meaning of Janardhan with Baldev Vidyabhushan, this is in Burijan Prabhu's commentary, is that Jana means person and Ardhana means killer. So he says, Baldev Vidyabhushan says that if they need to be killed, if all these people need to be killed, you who have incarnated to remove earth's burden, you should kill them, not me. Because you are the supreme controller, for you there will be no sin. I don't want to kill them. Oh, Janardhan is saying like that. So he is afraid of sinful reactions or killing. So he's using all this. So Janardhan, one is he's maintaining. So why we should kill them? And if you are killer of your of the people, then you should be killing them if they are, antisocial or like that. I should not be killing them. Okay, that's how Baldev Vidyabhushan is given. So it's already like, what's the time? It's 9:44. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. We'll continue. I mean, I want to do more, but if you're ready, we can do faster every day. We can do a little bit, maybe half an hour. If you have time from 9 to 9:30 or something like that, we can do every day, half an hour or 1 hour, whatever. Yesterday, yeah, there was a home program and things. So maybe should we stick to our morning time? Then should we revert back to our morning time on Saturday and Sunday?
For me, it's yes, Prabhu.
I think it's Keshav Swami Maharaj has Sunday
Oh,
morning.
yeah, that's Sunday morning. That's Keshav Maharaj's class.
This
So
time works, Prabhuji. This time is good.
this time is good. Okay. So 8:30 around that or 9 o'clock?
No,
9 o'clock,
8:30.
Prabhu.
Oh,
Huh?
9 o'clock. Because by the time we come from temple, we are not able to connect it. And today, 15 minutes late, I joined. So,
You are in the central time zone, right?
yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So that's also another. Some are in central time zone. So
For me, it's late, Prabhuji. It's 9.
9 is
Because,
late.
yeah.
So that is always my dilemma, how to satisfy everybody. And so what do you suggest? We have to come to some agreement, right?
9 o'clock works.
Morning, Prabhu. Sunday
Prabhuji,
morning.
why don't you set up a vote in the group so everybody can share
Poll.
their
Okay, so vote about morning, Saturday, Sunday, but Sunday, yeah, we can do a little bit later. I mean, but there is Sunday feast we have at 11 o'clock. So then in the afternoon we can do, but in the afternoon, some people have Sunday feast like beginning in the afternoon, right? So it's always a challenge. So we can do only on weekdays then. We can do weekends and we can do only on weekdays, if that is another solution.
I can hear recordings. It's okay.
Okay, so 9 o'clock then we will do in the evening. Okay, 9 to 9, maybe not so much, 9:45 only. 45. Because this is Bhagavad Gita, yeah, we can. And what about the nectar of instruction? Did you start any question? Did you start even one question?
Is that open book or closed book?
This is open.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to write all the answers and then send it so that we can be prepared for our test. Huh? So 25 questions. So if you do like 2 questions every day, in about 2 weeks, you'll be done. Okay. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Any other comments? Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
See you in
Prabhuji.
next
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Charuda.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah,
So
you
I saw your
texting.
message. I saw your
Yeah,
message.
Prabhu.
That's okay, no problem. I mean, yeah, you have to. If you need more time, that's fine.
Yeah.
Next time, next Gaur Purnima, you can think. Or Narsingha Chaturdashi is also karunga.
Yeah, I thought about Narsinga Chaturdashi. I was thinking I will take a vow to myself and see how March goes, and
Yeah.
hopefully I can keep that momentum. And
Yeah. It's good to try out first, right, and see it works.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice acting in the drama.
Because of this, I got to know about the Leela. And on Friday, also, when you were sharing about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I was happy to hear more and more. So I could get more into the character. So, because of the drama, it's good to learn more Leela.
Yes. Okay, we'll see you in the morning. Hare
Okay.